Hello friends, in the last session we have seen time domain analysis of CT system. Now today in this session we will see time domain analysis of DT system. So mainly we are focusing here discrete time LTI system. So let's start. So discrete time signal can be decomposed like this. So DT sequence x of n is represented in terms of weighted shifted versions of basic DT unit impulse delta n. So you can observe. So let this is the x of n signal. So this signal can be resolved into its number of cuts likewise. You can represent here. So this is the x of minus 1 into delta of n plus 1. So you can observe here this is the x of minus 1, it is multiplied to delta of n plus 1. So delta of n plus 1 means delta signal is magnitude value is 1 at minus 1 there, because it is going to shift towards left by one position. So 1 into minus 1, so final answer is minus 1. So this is the x of minus 1 into delta of n plus 1. Similarly, x of 0 into delta n, so we will get the pulse at x equal to 0 here. Now next is x of 1 into delta of n minus 1. So we can observe here we will get the pulse only at n equal to 1 here. Similarly, for x of 2 into delta of n minus 2, so we'll get pulse at n equal to 2. So if you add all these signals, then you are going to get this x of n signal. So from this we can say that the signal x of n is represented as the sum of four impulses. So signal x of n can be written as x of n, it is equal to minus 2 into delta n plus 1 plus 2 into delta n plus delta n minus 1 plus 2 into delta n minus 2. So the signal can be written likewise, means this dt sequence, that is x of n, is represented in the shifted versions of basic dt unit impulse delta n. So the equation that what we have written here for x of n, this can be represented or generalized for any signal x of n as x of n, it is the summation of xk into delta of n minus k, where k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. So x of k is the amplitude of x of n at n equal to k, and delta n minus k is the dt unit impulse at n equal to k, that is shifted signal, shifted unit dt signal. So likewise x of n is represented as the summation of xk delta n minus k. Now we'll see what is a DT LTI system. So consider this block diagram here. So this is the DT LTI system to which input signal is applied, and we are getting the output signal h of n. So input applied is unit impulse signal, that is delta n, and we are getting the output as h of n. Now the impulse response Hn of this DT LTI system is defined to be the response of the system to an impulse applied at n equal to 0. Now this DT LTI system is the time invariant system, therefore you can observe here if my input is delta n, so it can be written as h of n. Similarly, delta n minus 1 can be written as h of n minus 1. So likewise, delta n plus minus n0 can be written as h of n plus minus n0. means you can replace this impulse, you can replace this unit impulse signals, that delta n, by impulse response hn. So likewise we can write the x of n by considering unit impulse sequence as xn equal to summation k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity x of k delta of n minus k. Now response to this delta n minus k can be considered as h of n minus k, means impulse response. So the response of this DT LTI system for any arbitrary signal x of n, which can be written as yn equal to summation k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity xk h of n minus k. So the this equation is referred as the convolution sum, which is characteristics of DT LTI system in terms of unit impulse response. So y of n can be written as xn convolved with hn, that is equal to summation k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity xk into h of n minus k. So this is the DT LTI system, which is characterized by its impulse response h of n. Now we'll see the properties of DT LTI system. So what the properties we have seen for CT LTI system, same properties are considered here. So the first property is system with or without memory, that is dynamic system or static system. So for DT LTI system whose present output is dependent only on present input value is referred as static system or system without memory. For DT LTI system whose present output depends on present input as well as the input at other times is referred as dynamic system or system having memory. So you can write output y of n as xn convolved with hn. So it can be written as summation k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity xk into h of n minus k. So this system is a memoryless system, means static system, if h of n it is equal to 0 for n not equal to 0. Similarly, if this condition is not satisfied, then the system is said to be dynamic system, that is system with having some memory. So for that case h of n it is not equal to 0 for n not equal to 0. So this is system with or without memory. Now we'll see next property, that is property of causality. So DT LTI system is said to be causal if its present output depends only on present and maybe on past values of the input. Now if the present output depends on the future values of inputs, so such LTI system will be referred as non-causal system. So this is the basic definition of causality and non-causality. Now the DT LTI system is causal if h of n it is equal to 0 for n less than 0. Now if we consider this situation, then the limits for the x of n equation will be changed here. So the changed limits are k varies from, instead of minus infinity here it is 0, so k varies from 0 to infinity xk h of n minus k. So this is the final equation as far as x of n is considered. Now we'll see next property, that is stability of a system. a DT LTI system is said to be stable if for a bounded input signal, if it is going to produce bounded output signal, then it is stable. So for DT LTI system to be stable, its impulse response h of n should satisfy the following condition, and that condition is this: summation k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity, mod of h of k, it should be less than infinity. Means impulse response should be finite and it should be completely integrable, or you may say completely summable. Clear? Now we'll see next property of DT LTI system, that is invertibility and inverse system. So DT LTI system is said to be invertible if there is one-to-one mapping between input and output. So for a given system, if inverse system exists, which when cascaded to original system that produces the output equal to original input, then the given system is said to be invertible and the constructed system is referred as inverse system. So you can refer this equation here. If Hn convolved with H1n, which is equal to delta n, if it is satisfied, then Hn is the invertible system with H1n as its inverse system. So in this way, invertibility and inverse property can be seen. Now the most important concept existing here, it is the convolution. So convolution, as far as DT signals are considered, it can be written as y of n, it is equal to xn convolved with h of n, where y of n is the output, x of n is the input, and h of n is the impulse response. So this can be written as summation k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity xk h of n minus k. So as far as DT signals are considered, then xn convolved with hn can be solved by considering following steps. So first, sketch the given signal, that is xn and h of n. Then represent the signal as x of k and h of k. Means you change that variable, instead of n you write here k. Then obtain the reverse signal, that is h of minus k. Now shift this h of minus k by n units to get h of n minus k, and last step is find the output y of n for different regions of overlapping between x of n and h of n minus k. So for getting the output y of n, you simply observe the overlapping between x of n and shifted impulse response, that is h of n minus k. If overlap exists, then uh, represent that overlap. If it is not, then directly write 0 there. So find out all these overlapping outputs and list one by one, or you simply add all these outputs there. Clear? So in this way, output y of n can be calculated. Now we'll see some of the problems based on DT LTI system. So the first problem is calculate the convolution of given x of n and h of n. So x of n is given like this and h of n is given like this. It is asked to find the convolution between these two signals. So here it is solution. So x of n can be represented as x of k here. So instead of n, you simply write k there and draw the same signal. This is x of k. Now you first draw this h of k, then represent the mirror image of this signal, that is h of minus k, then go on shifting with respect to h of n minus k. So you can observe here, this is h of n minus k, n less than equal to 0. Now go on putting n equal to 0, n equal to 1, n equal to 2, n equal to 3 and n greater than 3. So you can observe here, this is the h of n minus k for n less than 0. Now this is the h of 0 minus k. So you can observe this signal here. Now this signal is h of 1 minus k. Likewise, this is h of 2 minus k. You can observe this signal here. And this is the h of 3 minus k. Similarly, we can write h of n minus k for n greater than 3. Clear? So likewise, this shifted version of h of n is represented here. Now we'll find out the outputs for different regions. So first region is n less than 0. So we can observe here n less than 0. So this is the h of n minus k and this is x of k. So x of k into h of n minus k. So its summation is observed. So you can find no overlapping between these two. So the output is 0 directly. For n equal to 0, y of 0 can be written as summation xk h of 0 minus k, where k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. So in this case, the output is 0.5. So you can observe here y of 0 as x of k into, so this is x of k into h of 0 minus k. So this is h of 0 minus k. So this signal into this signal, this convolution is observed in between this signal and this signal. So you can observe here this multiplication is, as far as n equal to 0 is considered. So for n equal to 0, here the magnitude is 1 and here the magnitude is 0.5. So the output is 0.5. Similarly, for n equal to 1, y of 1 can be written as summation xk h of 1 minus k. So you can observe here, this is the h of 1 minus k and this is h of k. Now observe the overlapping. For 0, this value is 0.5 and here for 0, this value is 1. So you can observe here 0.5 into 1, that is 0.5, plus for one location, so k equal to 1 here and here n equal to 1. So this signal is 2 and this signal is 1. So 2 into 1, that is 2. So 2 plus 0.5, that is 2.5. So likewise for n equal to 2, n equal to 3 and for n greater than 3. So for n equal to 2, we'll get y of 2, that is summation x of k into h of 2 minus k, where k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. So this answer is 0.5 plus 2, that is 2.5. Similarly for n equal to 3, it is y of 3. So it is summation xk h of 2 minus k. So we'll get that answer as 2. And for n greater than 3, so we can observe here for n greater than 3, so this is the h of n minus k and this is the x of k. So you will not observe any overlapping between these two signals. So for n greater than 3, y of n it is equal to 0. Now if you represent this y of 0, y of 1, y of 2, y of 3 and y of n, if you combine all these, we will get this resulting output y of n, final output y of n. So this can be written like this: y of 0 as 0.5, y of 1 as 2.5, y of 2 as 2.5, y of 3 as 2. Likewise, this signal is represented. So this is our final convolved output. Clear? Now we'll see next problem. So here in this problem, it is asked to find the convolution of two discrete time sequences given, and it is also asked to find or to sketch the that convolution output. So the given sequence is y of n, it is equal to 4 for n it is greater than 0 and less than 2, y of n it is 0 elsewhere, x of n it is 2 for n greater than minus 2 and less than plus 2, elsewhere it is 0. So this is the yn and xn. We can observe this. So we'll do this stepwise. We'll solve this problem by considering different steps. So output, so here it is denoted output as Zn. So Zn it is xn convolved with y of n. Now write the basic equation. It is summation xk y of n minus k. K varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now by replacing the independent variable n by dummy index, that is k, in the above equations, so we can write y of k and x of k. So this is the y of k and this is the x of k. Now these signals are plotted by considering these outputs, y of n equal to 4 for this region and x of n is equal to 2 for this region. So considering this signal is plotted here. This is y of k and this is x of k. Now step 2 is write the equation and draw sketches for y of minus k and shifted signal of y of k, that is y of n minus k, for arbitrary values of n. So this is the yk signal. Now y of minus k is this. So exact replica of this y of k signal is y of minus k. So y of minus k is 4 for k minus k in between 0 to 2. Similarly, this y of minus k can be shifted by n units here. So this is y of minus k plus n, means y of n minus k. So you can observe this shifted output. So it is shifted by n units. Now this is plus n. Therefore you are going to shift this y of minus k towards left by n units. Clear? So this is y of n minus k. So this y of n minus k, it is 4 for n minus k in between 0 to 2, means k it is in between n minus 2 to n, elsewhere this value is 0. Now consider the case 1. So in the case 1 we are going to consider n less than minus 2. So for n less than minus 2, output Zn can be written as summation xk into y of n minus k. So the limits can be written here as k varies from minus infinity to minus 3, 0 into y of n minus k plus summation k varies from minus 2 to plus infinity. So from minus 2 to plus infinity, x of k is existing and y of n minus k is not existing. So for y of n minus k we written here 0, and in the first case we have written here x of k as 0. So if you consider this answer, so the output is 0 for n less than minus 2. Now we'll consider the second case. So for the second case we are going to consider n is greater than or equal to minus 2 and n minus 2 it is less than or equal to minus 2, which implies that n is less than or equal to 0, and in the first here it implies that n is greater than or equal to minus 2. So we can write the limits for n. So n it is in between minus 2 to 0. So for minus 2 to 0, for n value in between minus 2 to 0, so z of n can be written as summation x of k into y of n minus k. So we can observe here, if I consider the limits from minus infinity to minus 3, so there you will observe x of k as 0, and for the limits minus 2 to plus n, you will observe the outputs x of k as 2 and y of n minus k as 4. Similarly, for k varies in between n plus 1 to infinity, so x of k is existing, but y of n minus k, it is not existing, it is 0. So if you simplify this, you will get output z of n as summation k varies from minus 2 to plus n of 8, because this is 4 into 2, so 8 values here. So this is true for the region minus 2 to 0. So if you simplify this, you will get this z of minus 2 as 8. Similarly, for z of minus 1, the limits is from k varies from minus 2 to minus 1. So it is 8. So if you simplify this, so the answer is 8 plus 8. So z of minus 1 is 16, and z of 0, by considering k equal to minus 2 to 0 into 8, if you simplify this summation, so it is 8 plus 8, that is z of 0, 24. So z of minus 2, z of minus 1 and z of 0 can be written as 8, 16, 24 respectively. Now we'll consider the case 3. So n greater than 0. So n greater than 0 and n less than or equal to 2. So for this case, n is in between 0 to 2, or we can write n is in between 1 to 2. So for the region n in between 1 to 2, we can write output z of n as summation xk into y of n minus k, where k varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now put the corresponding limits and consider the overlapping regions there. And if you solve this, you will get this answer as z of n, it is summation k varies from n minus 2 to n of 8. And if you simplify this for n in between 1 to 2, so we have to first keep the value as n equal to 1, then n equal to 2. So for n equal to 1, z of 1, so we are going to get this answer as 24, and for n equal to 2, this is z of 2, so for z of 2 we are going to get the answer as 24. So z of 1 is 24 and z of 2 is also 24. So in this way we can consider this case 3, that is n greater than 0 or n less than or equal to 2. Now the case 4 is n greater than 2 and n minus 2 is less than or equal to 2. So for this, n greater than 2 means this range, and for n minus 2 less than or equal to 2 implies n less than or equal to 4. So for this condition, we are going to see the overlapping between x of k and shifted y of n minus k signal. So first we'll consider here n in between 3 to 4, because if you simplify this and if you observe our signals, so we'll get n value in between 3 to 4. So z of n, it is equal to summation x of k y of n minus k. Now consider the regions and put corresponding values and solve this. So we'll get this z of n. So z of n can be written as summation of 8, where k varies from n minus 2 to 2. So in this case, first we'll consider n as 3, then we'll consider n as 4, and if you simplify, we'll get z of 3 as 16 and z of 4 as 8. So likewise, we are going to consider all the values of z of n, that is z of minus 2, z of minus 1, z of 0, z of 1, z of 2, z of 3 and z of 4. So these values are 8, 16, 24, 24, 24, 16 and 8 respectively. So if you plot all these values, you will get final output signal, that is z of n. We can observe this z of n here. So this value is 24 for 0, so it will repeat up to 2. You can observe here for n equal to 2 it is 24. Then z of 3 is 16, z of 4 is 8, z of minus 1 it is 16, and z of minus 2 is 8. So this is the final convolution result, it is z of n. So in this way this signal can be sketched here. Now we'll see next problem. So here it is asked to find the output y of n for the input x of n and impulse response h of n. So x of n is as shown in this figure, and impulse response h of n, this is as shown in this figure. So these are the given x of n and h of n, and it is asked to find output signal y of n. So solution: first time reverse and shift the input signal to compute the convolution. So first we'll replace n by k, and we'll shift that, so that we'll get here x of minus k. So if you observe here x of minus k, so it is from 0 to minus 2. Similarly h of k is written here. So simply instead of n h of k, so simply instead of n, k is written here. So this is h of k signal. Now we'll consider the different regions. So from that, first region is n less than 2. So we'll write h of k into x of k minus n. So this answer is 0, therefore y of n, it is equal to 0. Now for the region n in between 2 to 4, so it is h of k into x of k minus n. So this is going to remain as 1, where k lies in between 2 to n. So if you simplify this, we will get y of n as summation of 1 for k varies in between 2 to n. So if you simplify this, we will get the answer as n minus 1. Similarly, for the next region, n lying in between 5 to 7, so this is h of k into x of k minus n, so it is equal to 1, so n minus 2. So k lies in between n minus 2 to n. So if you simplify this by considering summation equation, so we'll get y of n equal to summation of 1, where k varies from n minus 2 to n. So if you simplify this, we'll get the answer as 3 here. Now for the region n lying in between 8 to 9, so h of k into x of k minus n, it is equal to 1. For the region k lying in between n minus 2 to 7, and if you do this summation for different k values, so we'll get y of n, it is summation of 1, where k varies from n minus 2 to 7. If you do this, we'll get the answer as 7 minus in bracket n minus 2 plus 1. So after simplification, we'll get this answer as 10 minus n. And for the n greater than or equal to 10, we'll get h of k into x of k minus n, that is equal to 0. So directly we'll get output y of n, that is summation output is 0 here, because no overlapping exists between for this n greater than 10. So if you combine all these outputs, so we can plot this output signal y of n as like this. So here you can observe different outputs. So it is 0 for n equal to 1. So y of 1 is 0, y of 2 is 1, y of 3 is 2, y of 4 is 3, so it will repeat up to y of 7. Then for y of 8 it is 2, and for y of 9 it is 1. So for equal to or greater than 10 value of n, output becomes 0. So this is the final output, that is y of n signal. So likewise you will get the problems as far as DT LTI systems are considered. So mainly you will be asked to calculate convolution, or simply DT LTI system will be given to you and will ask to calculate the final output. Clear? So we'll stop here. Thank you.